Hello, 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 everybody. Happy Friday to you, and welcome to your weekend. So happy to have you here. Hope everyone's doing well and having a blast. And if not, that's your choice too. There's no judgment. All right, let's take a look here. Let me get my desktop all set up, and we will get into it. All right. I think we're good there. Let's see if it's YouTube saying that we're live. Let's see here. There it is. Taking its time to get to me, but it says we are live, so we are good to go. Live. All right. So it got dark suddenly. Had all the lighting already, and then clouds came over and it got darker. So it'll probably brighten up here in a moment. But for right now, before we get started, let's send some love out to the world and bring love into our hearts first. We fill up, it overflows out into the world, into the session as well, inviting spirit and all that beautiful love energy. So whether you're watching live or on replay, you can join me. And first we'll take a big deep breath and let the chaos of the world fall away for a moment. So if you want to join me, I'm going to take just one big deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. So here we go. Beautiful. And we have our wonderful singing bowl. And I'll hit it like 3 times. And each time I hit it, just imagine that waterfall of love flowing in, filling you up, and flowing out to the world. So here we go. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me in doing that. Just calm her down there. Put her back in her little perch up here. Get the mallet out of the way there. All right. So hello. Welcome. Before we get into the readings, just a couple of quick announcements. So we've got the weekly pick-a-cards. So we've got a new full moon in Capricorn coming up. This is the second full moon in the same sign, which is considered like a blue moon because it's rare. It's not like impossible, but it's very rare. And then we have a second blue moon coming up in August, which you guys will find out more about when August monthly readings come out on Sunday. So a beautiful lot of energy this year, right? A lot of odd different things coming in. So be sure to look out for that. And like I said, so August monthlies will be out on Sunday for everyone. For my YouTube channel members, you guys have access to those already if you want to check them out. And if you haven't checked out your July monthly, here's the link to that playlist. And if you haven't checked out your solstice relationship readings, and this is a relationship readings for each zodiac sign, and within each it talks about single and looking, married or in a relationship, and happy hermits. So it's not just, romantic relationships. It covers all spectrum there. So be sure to check those out. It is a 3-month forecast. And I do have a sale going on my relationship readings. If you're interested, from June 20th to July 21st, they're half off. So 30-minute reading is only $12.50 and an hour is 25. So if you want to check those out, there's a link there that talks all about the relationship readings and everything else that I offer as well, if you are so interested. And let's see, we had a new podcast come out on Sunday, and this is the last of the weekly. I'm going to go to monthly podcast just to balance it out. I've done obviously episode 22, so 22 episodes, and I'm just going to kind of space them out now. But I'm going to have what I'm calling cozy Care Bear guests on my podcast. So I have one that's already recorded that'll be out. I think it's next Sunday, or it might be the week after, but they'll be part of my Cozy Chat podcast. That's where they'll be in that playlist and appear. So I'm excited to share individuals with you guys too, that have had their own chaos. I mean, we all have had our chaos, but this talks about what they've been through and where they're headed to and the tools that help them. So I'm excited to share that side of some of our fellow, we have it's mainly they're praying Mantis members on my YouTube channel that I've gotten to know, because it's more intimate there, because we have so much time together. It's less people. So if you're interested, my Praying Mantis YouTube memberships are $7.99 a month. And then also we have cozy chats on Wednesday night that all my YouTube channel members can attend, and even my Zen Cricket level, which is $2.99 a month. So again, all of that information's in the description box of the video, or links to my bruddaZEN.com website. I think that's the main things I want to talk about here. Enough blah, blah, blah. Let's get into talking to spirit, right? So happy to see everybody here. If you're new to my channel or new to these readings, welcome. We got a great host of people, huge hearts, great senses of humor. And so welcome. And how the free readings work is there is no special list. The chat is it. You just put your question out there. And if you don't want to put your business out there, you can ask for a general reading. Spirit knows. So I'll pull cards, see what comes through for you, what they want you to know right now. And if anyone makes a donation, I do honor that energy exchange. I prioritize those, step out, dive deeper, meaning I pull extra cards for those too. And then I return back to the free readings and continue to make my way down the list. So that's it. Oh, to make a donation, that's not it. To make a donation, you can use the super chat down below, or in the description box of the video. I do have my Venmo, CashApp, PayPal, and Square too. I don't look at dollar amounts. I know everyone's finances vary from person to person, day to day, country to country. So I just know you're giving from your heart. That's what's important. We're going to be using this tarot deck today, the True Heart Intuitive Tarot, and a variety of other cards scattered around my desk here. So we will look into that here. But first, let's get into some of the donations that came in. Thank you so much. So I've got a few here from Supernova. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then I did have a PayPal come in from Shay Shay. So you'll be up after that. And then HTTPS, you'll be up after that. So that's the order for right now. All right, so let's jump in. The first one, Nova, thank you so much for your multiple donations. And we'll start off with your Black Kitty. And thank you for that donation. So number one, messages from Kurt. All right. So of course, we'll start off here. Kurt loves the Oracle, and I have an Ask Your Guides Oracle deck, and that's where they want me to go. So what does Kurt have for you right now? Wow, okay. I like it. Wow, look at this. Epiphany from your higher self. all those lotus, and there's your higher self around your human self there. So let's see what comes in here. And this is card number 18, which is how old you are. So this is all about inspiration and breakthrough and revelations and divine guidance. So Kurt says, congratulations, you're finally getting out of your head and connecting more directly with your soul. The flow of communication between you and your higher self is strengthening daily, allowing you to directly access your spirit guides, angels, and spirit teachers more readily. As your contact with your higher self deepens, answers will suddenly plop into your consciousness like gifts from above. Your aha moments will appear with greater frequency, like light bulbs switching on in your head. Over and over, you'll find yourself in the right place at the right time. Under the influence of your higher self, you're steadily becoming more spontaneous, dancing in synchronistic flow with life rather than swimming upstream against the current. Your higher self encourages you to unhesitantly trust your vibes at all times. Surrender your ego to them and allow yourself to be gently led rather than yielding to old ways of figuring things out. You're being gifted with endless spiritual direction and a deeper understanding of your soul's journey. Remain in constant dialogue with your higher self and ask it to override your limited perceptions and keep you on your true path. Then go with the flow. Your higher self's message to you, or from Kurt too, listen to me. I love it. So it's Kurt. Listen to me. He says it in a loving way, of course, but I like that. So you definitely are, in this you know, place of higher and higher and higher and higher and more consistent communication with your higher self and your spiritual posse, and you're, as you continue to let things go, yeah, of presence or energy, yeah, absolutely. So you're letting more and more fears go. Your vibration is just getting higher and higher. And so you're recognizing the communication more, and the communication is coming in more clearly and more clearly and more clearly too. So I like that for you. And that's what he has for you is listen to me, listen to us, listen to your higher self. We're talking to you all the time. Listen. So getting still, strum your guitar, just and just see what they say, right? Just get in that place of peace, lowering your fear noise, raising your love vibration, and then you can just listen to them and interact with them. So I love that. And that's what he has. He's just like, that's my message. Short and simple. Listen. Too funny. All right. But that's what they have for you right now, Nova. And then for your rainbow one here, you were just playing to, yeah, there you go. Perfect. And then you have messages from your spirit guides. They're like oracle oriented today. We have the terrestrial fauna oracle. So let's see what they want you to know here. What do your spirit guides want you to know? So, that's a lot of cards there. Okay, there it is. Like, no, this is the one. Oh, got the tiger. Beautiful. Let me see if I can get it to focus in. Beautiful, beautiful deck. Tiger, there it goes. So let's see what the tiger energy is for you here. Rawr. So the magnificent tiger roams the wilderness with unparalleled strength and self assurance. It invites you to unleash your own dormant power and embrace your unique talents and abilities. Much like the tiger fearlessly prowls its territory, you're encouraged to assert your presence and take charge of your life with bravery and determination. The tiger embodies both tenacity and adaptability. It navigates diverse landscapes, skillfully adjusting to different situations. Approach challenges with an open and flexible mindset, recognizing your potential to overcome obstacles and thrive in any circumstance. With its captivating stripes, the tiger represents individuality and self expression. Embrace your inherent uniqueness and stand out as an individual. As a symbol of focus and precision, the tiger emphasizes the importance of setting clear goals and maintaining unwavering commitment. Just as the tiger patiently awaits the right moment to strike, you're also reminded to practice patience and persistence as you pursue your dreams. You can't make this stuff up. Remember that the majestic tiger embodies inner strength, adaptability, individuality, focus, and independence. It prompts you to tap into your innate power, exhibit resilience in the face of challenges, express your authentic self, stay focused on your goals, and live life with a sense of freedom and autonomy. Yep. So staying true to your authentic self and your dreams is the important um, message that comes in with those there. Let's see, I think I'll put these over here. Actually, I'll put them over here. I know, I love it. Kind of this, it's almost like the strength card with the lion and the higher self, because you actually got, oh my god, okay. I go, why did you want me to put these together? But so in the strength card of the tarot, they usually have a lion, a tiger, feline, and the higher self. So this is like the strength card coming in its own unique way coming in here. So I love that. Be strong. When you feel like your human doesn't have the strength, then reach up to your higher self, who is very powerful, and you have that. So that's what they got for you for that one there. So thank you again for your rainbow sticker. And then your next one, you have wait for it. Let's see what that is here. So we've got, what do you need to know about your life situation? Will it get better and will you improve? All right. Or living situation. Living situation. Like your home. Like your. So let's take a look here. I'm just going to take a quick sip here. All right. So let's take a look here. What do they want you to know about your living situation? Okay. All right. Excuse me. So the bottom of the deck, you have the Ace of Cups. And the Ace of Cups is the chalice. It's the Holy Grail, right? This represents our self-love. And when we have turned inward and upward and we're getting filled by this eternal, unconditional love from above, yeah, our outside world changes. Yeah. And we see things differently. Because underneath that, you've got both the 10 of Pentacles. They call it the 10 of Discs in this deck. You have the 10 of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles. Abundance and new beginnings and feeling like new abundance. And it's not like that, and nothing needs to change in the outside world, because what the outside world does when it's not living up to our brain of what it think it's supposed to be, should be, need to be, have to be, that's when we go into fight or flight mode and we want to escape, right? We want to fight or we want to run. And so whenever there's a situation going on, we can look and go, okay, what is bothering me about the situation that's happening, right? This Everything in the outside world is designed to point us inward and upward to the Ace of Cups, to our self-love. And when we realize the struggle, the judgments, the conflicts that I have in the outside world are coming from my little inner child who feels unsafe and out of control because it's in fear for some reason. And so we can comfort our inner child, calm down, like play your music, right? To where you're like calm, and then you can step back, take a lot of deep breaths and look and go, what was I fearing? What am I fearing, or was I fearing in that situation? And then we can look at it and get to the root and go, oh, so this is my fear. And how true is that fear? Fears are lies. They're FEAR is false evidence appearing real, which is a shorthand. It means lie, right? It's not true. It's false evidence. And we're going, oh, well, this means this about me. This means this about the world. This means that about them. Does it? These are the things that are the stories of our head, the nightmare stories, the scary stories. We talk about the outside world. But as we find that inner love, then things transform. That's the bottom of the deck. You have the King of Cups. So balancing your head and your heart is how you can transform that outside world. I mean, there is the Ace of Cups in his hand here. So, we have that. Yeah, you can be carefree, and what we mean by that is I want to be fear free. I don't want to worry about failure. I don't want to worry about rejection. I don't want to worry about I don't want to fear this. I don't want to fear that. I don't want to fear that. We kind of mistake care for fear, right? It's like, well, we care about what people think. No, we fear that people will think poorly of us, judge us, toss us out onto the streets where we'll die alone and get eaten by jackals or alligators or crocodiles or whatever you have in near you in Australia, all those things that try to kill you there. But, this is the balance of the head and the heart. We get out of our head and more into our heart, that place of unconditional love, right? Yeah. Because the Seven of Cups, it represents a lot of emotional confusion, a lot of this is how people are supposed to be acting, and our emotions are like drama flying all around us, right? And the Page of Swords coming in here is about seeing things from a higher perspective. Seeing things, actually, sorry, that's the Prince of Swords, which is still the Knight of Swords, is the pursuit of seeing things from a higher perspective, looking to see how can I look at this differently. This situation is not happening to me, it's happening for me. Why did I want them to show me this? Because then it shows a fear that I have inside me that is bubbling below the surface. It's existing there. They're just bringing it up so we can remove it and transform it where it won't keep impacting us unconsciously, subconsciously. Because whether it's triggering or not, it's still down there taking, like energy, emotional energy to maintain or suppress, right? And the Two of Wands, of course, we have the Two of Wands. Whenever we're talking about, will a situation outside of me change? Well, the Two of Wands is, I don't know, will it? I like it because we're the ones driving the car. And so it's like we're driving the car going, I want, are we going to change where we're going? I don't know. Are we? You're driving. They're being funny. They're like, I don't know. I don't have the steering wheel. You do. Where do you want to go? Do you want to change what's going on? Well, then we change our energy, right? We change all of our choices. if we continue to focus on lower vibrational thoughts and emotions and energy and actions in a situation, we're going to continue to get lower vibrational experiences, people, and energy and emotion. And when I'm ready to change it, then I change it. I start changing my thought to a higher vibration of what is happening there. And I start to find things to be grateful for in a situation. And then the energy starts to change. I change my emotions to something higher. Things start to change. I change my energy. I change my actions. Then things start to change in the outside world too. So I like that with the Two of Wands coming in. Are things going to change? I don't know. Are they? Your guides are funny. And then after that, yeah, you have the Princess of Cups. So if you do make the energetic change, there is the possibility here for a higher love that comes in there. You also have the Chariot. Here's that. The power of choice, everything I just talked about. That's our movement and victory. It can happen if I choose that, then I get that. It's whatever it's like, am I going to put this, coin in this machine and get this? Or am I going to put the coin in this machine and get that? And it's like we're asking, well, what am I going to get? Well, whatever you put the coin in is what you're going to get. What are you going to choose? Right? This is a wonderful energy. Yeah. And here's our heart cannot be broken, but this is expectations equal disappointment. And this is a great card for the last card in for this question, because that's what makes us feel like my situation needs to get better or improve, because it's saying that the situation isn't what it's supposed to be. It's not what I'm expecting, and I'm getting disappointed over and over again because the world is not doing what I want it to. Oh, yes, Your Majesty, I know you're the Empress, but come on. And that's what for everybody. I love Byron Katie because she says, when our thoughts and expectations battle reality, it loses, but only 100% of the time. And it's true. It's like when reality isn't matching what is happening in here, and we look out there, and it's like, wow, people are not, being who I think they should be. The world isn't being what I think it should be. Things are not unfolding the way I think they're supposed to. Well, evidently they're supposed to. That's another thing that Byron Katie says that's just brilliant. How do you know that that's what's supposed to be happening? I don't know. How do you tell? Because it's happening. Oh. So that's funny. But so that's what they have. Hopefully that helps, so you can change your attitude. When we change inside here, our outside world changes, because we don't see the world as it is, right? We see the world as we are. So in order for the living situation and the outside world to get better, then or change to be something different, it needs to change and be different in here uh, first, right? So um, that's what they have for you. It's empowering once we get that. We get it up here, but once it sinks into our heart and we're like, wow, it is so true. It is exactly what happens, right? I love it. All right. And the example that I give a lot is like when I was working in a call center taking calls. There's days that I know when I got to work, I was grumpy or whatever, and then all my customers were grumpy and agitated and argumentative and all this. And I'm like, what's going on here? Did someone change the skill on my phone to get all the, jerks? And then I realized, oh, this is me, isn't it? And so I took a break. I took my break, went and looked at the windows at the mountains that were nearby and just got something to drink. And I'm like, all right, I went back and I had chosen to change my attitude. The rest of the day, everyone was funny, laughing, smooth. And it's a great experience. It's a great aha that comes with that when I control my world, what I see and experience, And so when I change, the world changes. What I'm experiencing of the world changes. So I like that. All right. So hopefully that helps, Super Supernova. All right. And that was for that one. So thank you for all the multiple donations again. And number 4 is all the hearts. Anyone with messages of encouragement from spirit guides and Kurt. Absolutely. I've got a couple of these spirit junkie oracle. So I want to pull a few from here. They're just short little one-liner things. And I just feel like that's why they wanted me to pull these cards, because they're just short and sweet, but they are sometimes funny, but they're encouraging. Wow. So let's take a look here. So your first one is, oh, wow. I accept the gifts I've been given as a high service to the world. Wow. So your talents and your gifts, this that you're sharing with the world. How beautiful. How beautiful. That's encouraging. I mean, you've been gifted this in service to the world. Just sit in that. And we all have gifts that we've been given, but this is like they're really focusing in. We have all been to high service to the world. It's like, wow, beautiful. I love that. Give me shivers. Yeah, I love it. I can expand time when I'm inspired. I like that. It's like there's this feeling of when you're inspired and you're in this space, it does feel like the time. I know, like when they're reminding me, like when I'm doing my weekly pick a card readings and things like that, and I'm sitting with spirit with the camera going, and it just feels like time stops. It just feels like I'm outside of space and time. And I know you feel that when you're channeling music and words and things from spirit, you just feel like it is like this. So when are inspired, you know, you can feel that time. And so think of those times and feel what that energy feels like, because you do it often. You do it more often, they say, than you think you do. And they're like, when you get familiar with that feeling, you're like, wow, here it is. I love it. I love it. So, I like that. Owning my power inspires others to do the same. I am not afraid to shine. So, I love it. I love it. I love it. So, shining bright, being that bright light, to others. And again, this goes into the impact that we can have on others, right? Is when I shine bright, I help other people shine bright. When I'm in my lower vibrational energy, I make it easier for other people to choose lower vibrational energy too. So for myself, I came here, we've experienced our shadow. It's nothing wrong, nothing right about any of these things. But when I'm done feeling low, then I can choose the higher vibration for myself, realizing that a benefit is that it also helps other people choose to shine bright. So, again, like going back to that call center example, when I was shining, not shining, how could you say that? Like when I was um, sharing lower vibrational energy, people were eating it all up and expressing lower vibrational energy. When I raise my vibration to higher, then it shines, then it's easier for them to shine as well. So I like that. So very, very cool. Hey, me. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, everybody. All right. Yeah. And this is like kind of confirming one of the earlier messages from Kurt, which he's saying, I trust that my intuition is always leading me in the right direction. I love that. Why does that look familiar? Oh, maybe it was this first one. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was going to say, look, they look the same in a way, but there we go. And then the last one, a little of encouragement, is I breathe calmly and easy. I am safe in this moment. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Breathe calmly and easily. I am safe in this moment. Yeah, you do. You do channel more than you think you do because um, when you're just playing a song and all suddenly you were like, I'm going to try this chord. That's there. You're bringing in that creativity. You're bringing in that energy from above, and you're like, oh, okay. And so there's all this different, you know, smaller experiences. It's like, "Oh, that must be me," or that must be just by chance I'm gonna choose that chord or whatever. But no, they are very, especially Kurt. We talked before how Kurt, um, it's like before you came down here, you gave him permission to take over your hands sometimes to play on the guitar. And he's like, "All right, here we go." And you're like, "Whoa, how did that happen?" It was like it played itself. Those are the extreme channeling where you're like, "What the hell just happened?" Right? But all of these other smaller things, when you look at the comparison, you're like, "Oh, it must not be channeling," but it is. So, if that makes sense. You swear to God. Have you felt that? You're like, "Kurt, don't make him go whoopsh." No, he won't do that. Come on, wake up, wake up. Psh, 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 psh. There you go. Yeah, so that is it. So perfect. So I like those words of encouragement. Let me see here. Anything from the tarot? Actually, I've got this psychic tarot oracle. They drew me to that here. Here it is. Yeah. So here they're reiterating the patience and planning. See if I can get it to focus in there. Very glossy. But yeah, there it is. Patience and planning. So this is like the 7 of Pentacles, which is the last thing that grows on the fruit tree is the fruit. So trust the process. Um, you know, you can feed your life like miracle grow but you can't force something to grow. Go, come on, the little seedling gets planted and it cracks and opens up underneath the surface and the little seedling comes out and grows and then it breaks through the surface and then it starts growing bigger. You can't like go, come on, you can't stretch it and make it grow faster, but you can give it miracle grow like fertilizer, which is love energy. You can give your life that unconditional love energy from inside, let it fill you up and overflow. That feeds your life more versus, the other um, poison, lower vibration stunts growth, higher vibration encourages growth and has it grow more. It actually even happens in real life. If you ever seen some of the videos that they have where they did experiments where they had a control group where they didn't do anything to these plants. They were all from the same seeds and you do organic for fertilizer. Well, there's positive fertilizer, right? It doesn't have to be chemical fertilizer. Could be, from your what do they call it? The compost pile, natural. Not yet, Shane. You'll be up here in a couple more. But they had this experiment where they had these um, plants, right? All these seeds, and so they planted all these seeds. So all these are growing. They're all growing the same. Then they took a third of them and they spoke harshly to it, gave it negative energy. It grew slower. The ones that they didn't do anything to were growing faster than those. Then they they took another third of them, so they had a third they were talking negative to and giving it negative energy. doing all the same stuff, no extra, nothing different besides that. And a third leaving it alone as the control group. And then a third they spoke positive to. They gave it love and focused love energy. It grew exponentially more than the average ones. So it shows that, we can do that to our lives too. So I like that. So boom shakalaka. All right. So that's what they have for that one. Nova Nova. So messages of encouragement, you are in charge of your growth. They're constantly giving the sun and the water, but then our energy is what stunts the growth, I think is the word, or causes more, right? Or we're neutral and it will grow in its own time. But being aware of what we're giving to our lives and our moments is important for us. But we come down here to experience, what does it feel like to be stunted, and then what does it feel like to be super super expansive and growing too. Neither's right, neither's wrong. There's just different results, right? So I like that. Where we get caught up is we have a supposed to. Oh, we're supposed to be, you know, it's like, no, we come down here to experience the stunting of our growth and feeling small and helpless and limited and all that too. And then to shoot and become huge in this lifetime and etc. So that's what they have for you for that one. All right. And then number 5, thank you so much again for all your multiple donations here. And what is that? Oh, it's a city. I'm like, put your glasses on, bruddaZEN. What is that? I don't know what it is. Like Mr. Magoo. All right. So number 5, you want to know, will you revert into a healthy state? How your issues with physical health have been affecting you overall generally. All right, let's take a look here. So, everything we just talked about, of course, we can apply to that question too, about, whatever you feed yourself is what is going to unfold. Yeah. Because the bottom of the deck, you have the 2 of Wands. We're back to here. I don't know. It's that same card. I don't know. Are we? Are we going to change direction? Are we going to take an off-road? Am I going to be impacted physically? I don't know. Are you? It's all in your hands, right? It depends on, what are you going to choose? You're going to choose higher or lower vibration. That's what's going to tell you about the health of the plant that you are, right? So I like that. Let's see what else they have here. Yep. You have the King of Pentacles. Based on current energy, this is like abundance in the physical world. So they're saying if you're choosing your higher vibration, taking care of yourself, then you do have this fullness of your physical outside world. If you choose your higher vibration, you definitely have the possibilities to have that happen, right? Yeah. And you have the 9 of Cups, which is dreams come true, focusing on your dream. And it's important, when we do that, it's like taking care of our health if we want to be around to live our dreams, right? You're just realizing that now, Nova? You're stubborn as hell. You've never realized that before? Well, you are 18, By now, I am thoroughly aware that I am stubborn. I think Aquarius is a fixed sign. It comes with the territory. But you have the victory with the 6 of Wands, and the 10 of Wands is being aware of where you're investing your energy as well. And that comes back to the 2 of Wands, just reiterating it, that I can try to do too many things and I can exhaust myself to where it starts impacting your physical body. If you're trying to prioritize and everything is important, or our energy gets stagnant, it's the balance of that with that 6 of Wands too. It's like we can be doing too much or too little. We can wear ourselves out by trying to do too much, we can also become stagnant if we do nothing at all. There's a wonderful balance that we learn. We come to experience both ends, but when we're ready, there's a balancing that can come into play too with all of that. So definitely, you've got discovering with the 10 of wands what bucket you're going to focus on. There's like 3 buckets, right, of life with those 10 of wands where we invest energy. We've got things that are truly important and truly urgent, right? That's the number 1 bucket. Number 2 bucket are the things that are important but not urgent. Things that can be spread out over time that are important, but there's not an urgent time lying around it, but we can put that on our calendar and still put time bound things around it to make sure we get them done because they're important. And then the third bucket is the things that are urgent but not important. The things that are screaming, I'm important, I'm urgent, but they're not important. We don't need to invest energy in those. Those things will fall away, take care of themselves. Or once we complete all this and complete everything, then if we have time and energy and drive left over, we can go like, oh, I'll stick my hand in the third bucket and draw something out. And oh, I can do that. But it's not, if we don't get to them, there's no problem. So when we kind of separate and make like 3 lists, right? Urgent and important, urgent and important, important but not urgent, urgent but not important. So number 1 priority, number 2 priority, number 3 priority, then you're able to, one, feel a lot less stressed, which stress impacts our bodies, right? So when I feel like, oh, okay, I've got things written down, I see what I need to do and when, and then things can unfold, and you can, like I said, be less stressed about it. So hopefully that helps. That's what they have for you right now, and thank you again for all the multiple donations. I appreciate those, and I'm excited for your adventure as always. All right, my dear, many blessings to you. Sometimes you really do stress. Cool. Now you can prioritize them. You can put bucket 1, bucket 2, bucket 3, right? And make a little calendar if you don't have one, and just go, okay, so this one I'm going to do here. This one I'm going to do here. Of course, I'm a big list maker. And if you're not a list maker, it's still important to write things down sometimes. It gets it out of your head and onto paper instead of looping. Because I used to, if I didn't write things down, I would have trouble going to sleep at night because it was, and 10 things looping 100 times felt like 10,000. And when I wrote things down, I feel like there's more. I'm like, no, that's it. I'm like, wow. And when my brain knew it was written down, it would allow itself. It's like, oh, I don't need to remind you because you have it written down. I'm going to sleep night. And then my brain allows me to go to sleep because it's written down. And that's cool. Whoa. You're so funny. All right. So Shay Shay, you are up next. Thank you for your donation via the PayPal. And then we have HTTPS up after that. And then Olivia, you'll be up after that. That's for the donations. And then if there's no other donations, then I'll start on the free readings. So if anyone wants, there's prioritized a donation of any kind, we'll bring you to the top, and I'll pull additional cards too, just in case anyone new is coming in. All right, Shay Shay, let's take a look here. So you got back in connection. All right, let's shuffle these up. See what we got going on here. So what are their intentions towards you? What did he do? He sent pictures of girls cleaning his bike at a rally. Why would he send that? He is dumb. Or it's funny, your spirit guides are funny. Maybe he's letting you know, I need someone to help clean my bikes and these positions are open. I'm just joking. That would be fun. That wouldn't be funny because he's signing his death wish there, right? his death certificate. It's like, go ahead, say it, right? But yeah, I can see. Um, and this is part of it, right? When you said it's, you know, you're saying it's dumb because it made me feel insecure. That's human. It's natural. We all have felt insecure when people send pictures or we come across the pictures with people we don't know who they are, or even exes or different things, and we're like, so who's this? Are they still in your life? What's going on? Do blah blah blah. But it always happens for us, right? So why did he do it is different from why did it happen, right? We always have the human reason, which is when people do that, that is stupid for a human to do. Look at all these people that I hang around with. And you're like, are you not wanting to get into a relationship deeper with me? Because if you want to be intimate with me, don't make me feel insecure because those walls go up and my hand goes up, right? But spirit, the reason behind the scenes below the surface is to bring our insecurities up, because what we're really saying is there's a fear in me that gets triggered when this happens. What is the fear? They are just this um messenger, right? It's an echo from something that happened 7 years old and younger. There are no new emotions that happen in our life. They're just echoes of things we experienced when we were younger. And so when we look at seven and under is our emotional body, it's like, when did I feel like this before? And it doesn't have to be like I felt like betrayed in that way, but I can feel like, where does this fear of abandonment come from? This fear of not being good enough, the fear that you won't match up to those, that you're perceiving as, wow, look how hot they are, or that they're going to prefer them over me. Where does that emotion originally come up? Because it's just going to echo, 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 echo throughout our lives, and it has. And this is just another echo. So it echoes up and shows us that, so that we can go, oh, okay, I know where this came from, right? Um, so the bottom of the deck, you have the Four of Cups here, which is about emotional stability. So, the reason why it's come up is to help us deal with those charged emotions that are below the surface that are running on autopilot, that are making us imbalanced, right? We feel imbalanced. Yeah. And maybe it's just they're just doing it for you. But that's why it happens. Humans, when we're in fear, we all do stupid stuff, right? And we're not thinking. It's like a little 2-year-old who shows you a picture and like, look, and you're like, why you show me a picture of you and like a little, let's say like a little kid, like even if it's our own child, and they're like, why are you showing me a picture of daddy that you drew of daddy and his new girlfriend now that we're divorced? Why are you showing me that? A little kid like, look what I drew, mom. They don't know any better. They're just like, look, I'm excited. Look at my bike and this exciting adventure. They don't think what other people are going to think, because they're not thinking, they're just doing stuff, right? But the biggest thing is when you realize that the humans are going to do all sorts of weird things and we have no idea why that human may be doing what they're doing. But when you look at things from a higher perspective and going, why did I want them to do that for me? That's the real um, truth, the capital T truth that we're wanting. We can get the small t truth and go, oh, when they were younger, they were insecure, they had this happen, and blah, blah, blah. And so now they need to try to boast and prove themselves that they feel unworthy. So they try to show that they're worthy by saying, see, all these other people like me, so you should like me too. See, I'm desired by people, so you should desire me, right? So there's like this, energy that's below the surface, you're upset with that human. But that's a little 2-year-old, right? They felt insecure when they were younger. Most humans do. And so when we feel low about ourselves, we there's either destroyers who, if like they're here and they think you're up here, then they're going to try to people will destroy to try to bring you down by telling you bad things about yourself, and you know and then they in their minds they're bringing you down to here. In our minds we feel we're down here and they're up here, and when they're doing that they're pushing us further down, right? The other, like in this case, is like boasting. People will also, instead of destroying, will boast themselves up till they feel like they are our equals, right? But in our mind, they're already here and they're boasting themselves up further away, and we're feeling less and less. And we're like, you jerk. And but when we realize why they're doing it, and like, oh, you're just doing this because you don't feel worthy and you feel lower than me, and you're trying to show me that you're worthy to be interact with me, right? They just like, well, this is what I do, to do that. That's the human side. The human is very simple when it comes to that. It's like the a 2-year-old doing that, right? So it's when we realize that, we're like, oh, I see why you're doing that. But the real thing, the echo, is what's important, because especially you see a lot of people doing that. This is for you. It's to keep showing you, keep triggering that, because that little inner child is your inner child is below the surface with the charged emotion of, I don't feel worthy, I don't feel worthy, I don't feel worthy. And so until we that comes to the surface, and we deal with it, it keeps running on autopilot below the surface, and that makes us feel emotionally unstable. That's where this emotional stability card is coming into play. It's like, why is this happening? So that we can bring that charged emotion to the surface, then transform it, see it for the lie that it is, and transform it. Otherwise, it's just going to keep going and going and going below the surface there. And um, and will keep drawn in. So these our little inner child, they contact us in dreams, and then they also, because they're in the subconscious, they're like, because your our human minds, when we're developing it from like 7 to 14, our mental inner child pushes our emotional inner child into our subconscious, because they're like, we can't have you being all emotional out there, we're going to get in trouble. So between 7 and 14, we suppress our emotions a lot. And then so our emotional inner child will come into our dreams, jealousy, cheating, different things coming in our dreams, depending on what the thing is, right? And then also messengers in the outside world. So all of these are these messengers showing it, right? But it is for us, because until we deal with it, it's going to be echoing out in our world. It's charged and it's impacting us, and we want it to come to the surface so that we can, oh, yeah, when's the first time this happened where I felt not good enough? My dad chose my brother, or a friend chose a different best friend, or a sibling, said, I don't want you to be around you, you're a bother, or whatever these things were when we were younger, where we were rejected and not chosen and not good enough. These are the echoes. And when we go back to those and we pick up our inner child and go, you can cry about that, or you can get angry about that, because when we're younger, our inner child acts three ways. It's either smiling and laughing, crying, or throwing an angry fit in a tantrum, right? Well, 2 out of 3 of those are not encouraged by parents. Which ones are those? They want us to laugh and smile, but these others get pushed down. Those are the things that we can sit with, right? Um, so that's the kind of energy, and that's just the bottom of the deck. Yeah. Well, that's good of you to roll over his life that way, Almighty Highness, but, if he doesn't do it, it's gonna keep repeating in the outside world. You know? So it's like that, you know, it's not their actions. These emotions go all the way back to your childhood. And so when you go back and find out, when did that happen in my childhood? Because this is not new emotion. This is just echoing, repeating, and it will continue to happen. But when we go back and look and go, it is my dad when he chose me over my sister, or in that moment, that's my little inner child. But it's going to be like 7 years old and younger where this happened. And so when you sit with it and go back and go, when was the last time I felt this way? Okay, here. When was the last time before that? Okay, here. When was the last time before that? And you keep on going back, and then you'll get back into your earlier years. Yeah. Because you do have the 10 of Pentacles, and these are the types of relationships. In order to have a full feeling like a relationship that feels whole and full, you have to deal with that. Otherwise, that jealousy, that insecurity will continue to crap on any relationship that comes up. Yeah. The fear of a third party coming in, the fear of betrayal will come in. And yeah. And you have that, yeah, because in order to have like the dream come true emotionally, we have to go in and with that 4 of Cups to find this emotional stability. You have the Princess of Cups too, the Page of Cups, which is finding that the inner source of emotion that comes in here. Yeah. So we definitely have this, this energy that we have in here of your higher self calling you to this place to where you can feel true to your authentic self and see yourself differently, that inner strength that comes in with that there. So it is important, but that's why it happened, and it will continue to happen from other people too. And it's funny that you recognize it, and it's like, here's all these messages, but they're from your inner child. They're just sending it through other people that are coming in. So that's what they have for you, Shay Shay. So really, Spirit encourages you, if you don't want to keep experiencing it, then it's like, all right, let me go look at it, and I'm gonna go pick up my inner child. And whenever you get to that point and go, what was it when you first felt not chosen and not good enough? Who was it? And look at the situation and just let your inner child either cry, or have a fit, or both. And that allows that charged emotion that's been holding on for so many years to be released, and then the trigger dissipates, and that comes back. So that's what they have for you, Shay Shay. Hang in there. You're not alone. We all have things like that. But it's getting to the root and going, there it is. There it is. So many blessings for you. Thank you again for your donation. Hey, Shanji. No, I have not gotten to any of the free readings yet. So no, I have not. All right. So thank you again for your donation. And I've got HTTPS and then Olivia that are coming in here. You're welcome, Shay. Hang in there. All right. So HTTPS, thank you so much for your donation. Let me give that a love and a like there. You want messages from your spirit team, please. All right. Let's take a look here. I feel like I'm getting drawn here to the Ask Your Guides Oracle. So let's see what they have here for you. So I know it keeps getting darker and lighter. We evidently have clouds coming through. Because if I took this thing off the window, it would be like really, really bright. But now that I put it on there, of course, it's darker out. You just got to go with the flow. As long as you can see the cards and hear me, that's the most important thing, right? Perfectionism around proper lighting, blah, blah, blah. Let's go look here. HTTPS, all right, there we are. What do your guides want you to know here? All right. So you have spirit coming in here that says rest. Rest. Beautiful green. Card number 24. And the energy that comes in here is meditation, prayer, withdrawal, retreat. Says our culturally perverse notion that doing is the correct use of time and that doing nothing is a complete waste of time has indeed made us a sick society. Your overwhelming desire to back off from this whirlwind of activity and take a break, even throw in the towel altogether, isn't crazy or unrealistic. It's a direct summons from the Holy Spirit to withdraw your attention from the outer world and reconnect with your soul. Your life is not to be frittered away in meaningless and unexamined activity. You came in with a purpose and specific soul intentions that are being neglected. They're now knocking at the door of your attention, reminding you that you have commitments to keep. If you don't heed this call and begin to self examine, you may enter a dark night of the soul, a time where nothing feels meaningful. Listen to the Holy Spirit and open your heart to its direction. Take lots of time to be alone and get in touch with your soul. Write in a journal, seek counseling, and pray. Allow yourself to be in different contact with the guiding wisdom of the Holy Spirit on a daily basis. Withdrawing from the world, whether through contemplation, meditation, or even a sabbatical, is the most powerful way to use your time right now. The Holy Spirit is guiding you in your quiet moments. And its message to you: make time for yourself. And that's an important one. I don't think it's like a threat. If you don't do this, you're going to have a dark night of the soul. I feel like it's more advice energy where they're like saying, um, we can get caught up in activity and doing, and that's what I do. Even in all the stuff I do, I'll have all these wonderful ideas and all these excitement and tension, and then I have too much that I'm doing, and I don't have time for myself and my connection with spirit, my own connection with spirit. I'm connecting for everyone else. It's like working in a family business, and you're with your family every day doing doing the family business, but you don't get together outside of that and develop a relationship. You end up having just a working relationship with your family and not a real relationship, a personal, more intimate relationship. And I just feel like they're saying, like, you have a lot of intention of doing a lot of things in the outside world, but it's important just to take a step back and remember, it's very much appreciated of how much you share with the world and do all that, but it's inward and upward, and taking time for yourself with them is important too. So I like that for you. Anything else? No. All right. And then I'm going to give you a spirit junkie card here, or two. There we go. Yeah. Take time to celebrate all the greatness in your life. Sometimes we'll get so caught up in, going that we get caught up into that needs to happen, and I'll celebrate then instead of celebrating each moment, each day, about where I'm at and where I'm headed. And I'm like, okay, I got it. No, I don't have time to celebrate. I need to get there. It's like, no, take time every day for a little celebration. Yeah, I love this. Let's see if I can get it to focus. There we go. I can't control the world, but I can control how I choose to perceive it. So this, coming back to our taking time for us, we can sit and go, let me adjust my perception of my life in the world, and taking that time to celebrate and then adjust our perception is an important piece of that too. So I love that. And that's what they have for you. So thank you. Absolutely. Thank you for your donation. I greatly appreciate that. All right. So let's take a look here. So Olivia, you are up next. And then Nova, and then Patty, and then Shay Shay. I got your additional donation too. So that's where we'll circle back around here. So Olivia, thank you for your donation. Let's give that a love and a like since it lets me. And good to see you too. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm glad insight is helpful. Thank you. You're so sweet. All right. So a reading with WD and you. WD's feelings and actions. All right. Give us a couple shuffles. Take a little sip of coffee. Okay. So, what are their feelings first? Let's take a look here. WD. All right. In the next actions. Boom, boom, boom. All right. So, what are their feelings? What's going on here? The bottom of the deck, we got a little bit of seeking stability. They got the Four of Cups and the Four of Pentacles, which is they're kind of in this place of trying to figure out and get in, have like this, I don't know, stability, but it just feels like security. Um, and they're trying to just figure out the things that they've tried before, the things they've experienced before, of course, because they're looking in the outside world, have felt unstable. And they're kind of in this point in their life where they're trying to figure out what, I don't know what they're showing me a table. Have you ever have like a table where when it's on the ground it's wobbly, or you go to a restaurant and it's like clink 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 clink, and you're like, oh my god, and people fold stuff and put it under one leg, and it's like, well, that's good, but now it's wobbly over here. They put something under there, and then this one's off, and it just feels like they're experimenting, trying to find out what makes me feel stable. So that's what's coming in. That's pretty funny. But let's see here. So these three cards are their current feelings here. It's just like, what's going on? I don't understand. Well, I like, you know, well, so there's a lot of physical attraction for you. I mean, you've got the Empress, which is, you know, Mother Nature, nurturing, birthing, but a lot of sensuality too. And then there's a lot of emotion below the surface that they may not um, identify with at this point. But you've got the also the Five of Wands, which is a lot of conflicting passion, and the King of Wands, which is a lot of passion. And when it comes in here, you know, the King of Wands to the Empress is ruler over all queens. The Emperor rules over all kings. And in one way that they kind of feel below you, like you're out of their league, like a king to an empress. No, an empress needs an emperor. And so there's this hesitancy in sharing passion a bit here too, because there's this respect thing that comes in with the King of Wands, even though there's energetic and physical attraction. They aren't like a knight of wands who, like on Game of Thrones, you always saw the princes. They were always ended up in brothels and everything. It's like, no, the kings were, well, some of those kings that did it too, but most kings are noble, and they're like, I can control my urges, And I feel like they're kind of in that, but kind of what's involved in all that is this feeling of not being on the same playing field as you. It's like, well, I'm minor league, you're major league in their mind. Let's see what else they have here. And they got the Six of Cups. There is this draw between the two of you here with this past life connection. So that explains a lot of this energy that's there too. They have a lot of built up passion, and all that explains all the emotion too. Like the Empress, she rules over all the queens, and all the queens get a second portion of cups. So right away you have four queens in the minor arcana, so four cups. And then you have the Queen of Cups adding a fifth one. So that's 5 part emotion, 1 part fire, 1 part earth, 1 part air, right? So there's a lot of emotion below the surface, and that this explains it with this Six of Cups too. A lot of past life emotion and energy that they don't know what all this is coming from. So a bit confusing for them. Although I feel like you get it. You're like, yeah, I feel like I've known him a long time, and there might even be this comfort level that you guys have with each other because you've had so many lifetimes together in the past that you do feel like this connection. And you're like, why do I just, it's like you felt immediately like sharing stuff with each other that you wouldn't share with other people that quickly. You're like, what's happening here, right? Yeah, he's hesitant, right? So let's see what his next actions are. But that explains a lot of what's happening here. And he's just like, I don't know what's going on. All right. Yeah, we've got here, we do have the Prince of Cups, which is movement of emotion, and the Five of Swords, which is the conflict between their head and the heart. Once they're able to get past that conflict, then they can, move forward here. We have the Three of Cups, which is joy and celebration, and can be gatherings of tribe too. So I feel like their next actions are they want to. It's funny, not that they want to ease into things, but you like. I can't help myself sometimes, but I like this. Well, I mean, they kind of want to like hang out with you around people. I feel is like their next thing. They can get past this, like their head with the, you know, trying to figure things out. Just, their heart will eventually win out. The heart usually does. The brain gets tired, and the heart is da 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 da. But it can take some time depending on how stubborn they are. And I feel like he's pretty stubborn, but I feel like they want to invite you to a gathering, like a barbecue, and interact with you with other people around. When he'll start taking action again. Um, the when, you know, it, the when is dependent. There's so many different possibilities based on. Well, we'll look at current energies because of his stubbornness. I feel like it's going to be a little bit. It feels like more like months than days, or weeks than days, coming in here. And we've got the Nine of Cups, so there's some sort of celebration that's coming up, but the nine, it could be like September is when they're like wanting get to like action and gathering. So there must be some sort of like celebration. What do we have in September? Labor? No, we don't have Labor Day. I think Labor Day is different. But I just feel like there's some sort of gathering that they're like, hey, would you want to go with me to that? Blah, blah, blah. And there's a lot of my family, a lot of people around. It's like, okay, so but it's kind of feeling that kind of action, if that makes sense. but that's based on current, right? That's the whole thing about the future, full of possibilities. They could change their mind tomorrow and really go to start counseling, and things happen faster, or they revert back and they're like, I'm tired of thinking about all this, and then it's, it pushes things out. Oh, no, my brother's a Taurus, and I have a stellium in the second house ruled by Taurus. That explains a lot of my stubbornness. Even though it's in Pisces, it is still ruled by that energy. Don't tell me what to do. All right. So hopefully that helps a little bit, Olivia. But that's what's coming in right now for you. So thank you again for your donation. I greatly appreciate that. All right. And then Nova Supernova, thank you for your additional donation with the unicorn, the rainbow unicorn. So number 6, what is the process of you channeling in writing and in playing? Do you really channel more than you realize? How often? You do, because they said that you do. And let's take a look here, though. So, what's the process of channeling and writing? Tell us a little bit about what that looks like and how often. All right. Yeah, oops, let me just cover some of this up here. Some nakedness in these cards. So we got the star card. Here's the dream come true. And it's interesting because I feel like they're saying here that um, it's like all these nudges, all this movement is really in essence channeling energy from the spirit world. Like creativity, the it's like we channel and we're the funnel, we're the conduit of that energy from the other side and the expression of it out into the world. So whenever we're expressing things of unconditional love and of like when we're doing our dream. So every time I do cards, I'm channeling spirit, right? Every time that you're creating music and moving music, you're channeling in a way. And just to the extent at which it's the difference is like between um where you're I'm sorry, they're just giving me examples in my head about my own life, so I'm going to revert to that. It's like there's times in my life where I'm pulling the cards and I'm seeing it and I'm like, oh yeah, so this is what this means and da da da, and this is what spirit wants you to know and da da da. There's other times in my life where I feel like I'm in a dream and I step back and I know I can hear myself speaking and my mouth is moving. I'm not out of control, but I'm like someone like they're going through something and I'm all blah 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 da 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 blah blah blah, and I can tell by my friend's face or whoever it is that knows me, they're like, "Who was that?" Because they were like, "That wasn't you." And my hair stand up on my arms. And I can remember those times because it's like I the how it came through and it was like and it was things I wouldn't say, words I wouldn't use, and different things like that. And you can tell because my friends who know me, when it was coming through, they're just like, "Whoa!" And I kind of feel like that is, yeah, exactly. And so those are the extreme where it's mainly spirit and very little us, and then there's us with spirit. We're speaking what spirit's telling us and we're acting on it's like they'll touch memories and stuff in my brain just like now where I'm like, oh yeah, so da 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 da, I'm speaking but spirit is reminding me what to talk about. But there's other times where it's like it's very little me and mainly spirit of like they weren't even my words. They'll use my personality and come through. So hopefully that helps with that. Let's see what else here. Yeah, and the power of choice that we have that's coming in here too. So when we are, um depending on what energy that we're choosing too. Okay, that makes total sense. Sorry, they're like talking, showing me stuff while I'm talking, and I'm like, oh yeah, 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 that's right. So it's like static, right? And depending on the choices that we're making, if I'm choosing like if I'm in lower vibration, if I'm, have any kind of anxiety or any noise going on, the messages might struggle to come through. Or if I'm not feeling well or something along those lines, then it's like, bleh. That's why if I feel sick, I don't do readings because it's going to be, and I'm going to be like, I think they're saying that you need a sandwich. And they're like, no, that's not what we said. It's like, "Oh, you need to go to a sandy beach." "Oh, that makes more sense than a sandwich," but that's the whole thing too with music and how you're the words and stuff when you're in have anxiety and fear and stuff, it's staticky, so it's more of our human involved, our human ego involved. But when we're choosing the higher vibration, choosing higher vibrational stories and emotions and energy and physical actions, then we're in a different place where the it comes through like crystal clear instead of, you know, like on the olden days, you used to have to turn your radio to try to tune in. Now that automatically searches. But if you ever are like out, probably if you ever travel in the middle of Australia where there's no satellite radio things, you probably hear, right? You probably heard it before. But that's kind of a piece of what it comes in here too. Let's see here. What else do we got here? What else do they want to know? So you wanted to know, do you channel more than you realize? Yeah. And here's the strength card we talked about earlier. And that was the tiger and the higher self, remember? So the more you connect, um, then the more that it comes through. And you've been connecting more often, so it comes through more often because it's like you're getting used to connecting. So it happens easier and it doesn't feel as extreme because it's becoming more of your norm, if that makes sense. And yeah, and they have the temperance card, which is the going back and forth that's been unfolding, and the six of pentacles, which is the balance of going back and forth between the two as well. So because it's like when you're in a balanced state, then that's when things just really are flowing. And so there are times when you do it more often than others because we're fluctuating in our lives too. Yeah, I love this. You have the Queen and the King of Pentacles. So when you're balancing and you're connecting with your divine feminine, divine masculine with the outside world, there's this, solidity that comes in here. And then of course here's the fear that we were talking about before that came up. When we're oh, this feels like home, right? When your outside world is balanced, you feel more balanced. And this goes back to the um the we were talking about earlier about home life. When you feel safe and secure in your environment, then you also tune in more often. But if you're feeling, that's where that static and stuff comes in, it's difficult for you to it's to connect at the higher levels because there's this other stuff that's pulling you back. And so there's balance times. We're in the middle mainly, but we have times where it's really, really, and then times where it's really, really low. But you're in this place of like more balance in between, more often than you've ever have been. And that's why they're saying that it does happen more than you realize. But it's hopefully that makes sense about the extent, the percentage of it that's our human experience involved with spirit, the percentage varies in the experience. And that's why if we're only looking at when it's like, wow, this 90 to 100% spirit and me only 10% or less, then we don't realize all these other experiences we're also channeling. So perfect. All right, so that's what they have for you, Nova Nova, for that one. Thank you again for that. And I see you have another one, so we'll be down to that one here in a moment. Exactly. Exactly. You got it. It's exactly what I was meaning. So perfect. All right. So we'll be back to your other question here momentarily. But Patty, you are up. Hello, hello. So let's give you some love and a like there. You want to know, what is your line manager planning around your role at the company? Is it good or bad? You feel like he's a schemer. How is that a mirror for you, Patty? How are you a schemer within your self and the world, right? Well, let's take a look here. We'll focus in on the line manager, but of course they're a mirror for us, right? All right, let's see what we got here. So interesting. The bottom of the deck, we have the Six of Cups, which is like past life type of connection. So I do feel like you guys, and I don't feel like relationship, like romantic kind of past life energy with them here, at least in the lifetimes they're showing me, because they're showing me the role reversals where you were their manager and they were um, a direct report to them. And they're like, you wanted to see things from an opposite point of view. So what you feel they're doing, it's like what you did in a past life. And there's no karma, there's no debt, there's no making up for things. There's just like, oh, since I experienced that, I want to experience this side. And so I feel like that's important as the underlying energy so that there's like less judgment on them and more of like just awareness of going, oh, so whatever I'm going to experience with you, you experienced with me. So, all right, I get it. I get it. I wanted this. I've asked for this. So that's what's kind of coming in there. I know, right? Oh, really? You're so funny. So let's take a look and see what are uh their plans, right? Yeah, we got the Six of Wands. There is victory here. There is equal energy going back and forth. So two sixes, really are this energy of flow. You're on the right track. You're on the path. This is unfolding on purpose for you. And so whatever's unfolding, it's like, okay, I get it, right? You need a comprehensive past life reading, right? I do offer those if you're interested. All the information's in the description box of the video. If you're interested in them, you're like, oh, I need to know about this. What happened here? And then where's this leading to? Yeah, you got the Seven of Cups. So it's leading to some new opportunities that are opening up here. And let's see what these you got four cards in the middle. Let's see where this is leading to because it feels like there's this, you know, opportunity that this is going to open up here. You got the Nine of Cups. So I feel like their actions, whether on purpose or by accident, are pushing you towards living your dream that come in here. Let's see what this is about here. You have the Prince of Discs, the Knight of Discs, the Knight of Pentacles in the Standard Tarot, which is movement towards new opportunity. It's a slow movement. Um, and then you got the Three of Cups and the Queen of Swords. Three of Cups feels like community. It is joy and celebration and happiness type of stuff. And the Queen of Swords is balancing of the head and the heart. So I don't feel so much like there's evil scheming or something like that in here. But it feels like they have this natural desire to want to have their individuals learn and grow because it makes them feel good that they're able to show that I help people grow, I help people get their dreams and their goals met. But there's also this underlying energy I feel in here. It's just like because of this slowness and because they're not able I feel like there's a piece of them that I'm not able to get you to go where you are wanting to go, no by no fault of your own, just by the company. I almost feel like they know the pathways, they know how it works, and they just know that, it's like your dream is not here, it's somewhere else, right? And I feel like they have that kind of energy here. They're kind of reminding me of when, like when I worked in IT as a manager at this company that I worked for. It was an auto insurance company, but I ended up moving from customer service into IT with no IT background, which was a miracle in itself. But they had this process of um, we would always find we were very career driven as far as like we'd find out career pathing was very important part of our responsibilities. And I kind of feel like a little bit of that taste that they have, but the thing that is standing out is like if someone didn't want to move up in the company, then they were put in one bucket of, well, we're not going to give you the opportunities of other people to move up because they need that to be able to move up. And if you don't want to do that, then we got to feed these people that, right? And I almost feel like there's not so much they understand like the path and the going, and I just don't feel like that there's this path that you know that that you're one it's like they're seeing that your ultimate path isn't something that's there's a path in their company for, and they're like, I know you want to do this, but with how they think the company works, they don't see a way to get you there. And this is, I feel like, why it's so slow and why you feel like they're scheming. But there is this energy there that they're just like, they want to help people, but they're kind of, let's say, confused, or that's not disappointed, but confused and I can't get you there, or discouraged is a good word. That's the word I was looking for. Discouraged, and I can't find a way that I can get you there. And so they're trying to maneuver you into a path that they can do a little bit out of selfishness in a way, because they want to feel good that they helped you. But I feel like in the long run, they're not going to fire you, but I feel like by their actions, they're pushing you out, um, by your choice, because you're like, yeah, I don't think you guys can give me what I want, and heading off into this dream kind of here, if that makes sense. So hopefully that makes sense to you, Patty, because it does it that their confusion was confusing me. That's how they were feeling. It's like, I'm trying, but I don't know how to articulate this, and I don't know how to get you where I want you to go, and um, where I think that you want to go, and I don't see a path, and I know how our company works, and I know you want that, but I don't think I can get you there. You're so funny. I'm watching you. Just do this to him every day. But I feel ultimately that your path does lie somewhere else. And so they're acting as, that's the human, right? But there's a higher purpose to everything. And I feel like, in a way, they are acting as the hands of creator and spirit of your higher self, because I feel like there's somewhere else that you're going to end up going to. And maybe we've talked about that before, something that's more in alignment, like with that Nine of Cups, which is like a dream come true. So that's the kind of energy that I feel is coming in there right now. So that's what they have for you, my dear. So keep an eye on them. But have the other eye looking for your dream, because I feel like that's out there. All right. Many blessings. Thank you again for your donation. I appreciate that. So many blessings to you. All right. Let me see here. Make sure I'm doing this in order. Oh, there you go. I see it. I see it. Yeah. Yeah. I get you. That makes total sense too, Patty, that they're just like, you know, I don't think we have like what you're wanting here. Like, if you like what you qualify for, might be like upper management, and they're like, those people have been around here for 20, 30 years. The only way that a position's going to open up if they die. They're not leaving. So that's interesting. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Johanna. You'll be up next year. I do have a PayPal that came in between you here. So um, Shay will be up first, and then Johanna, and then Nova, and then Brenda. You're very welcome, Patty. Many blessings to you. All right. So Shay, thank you for your additional donation via the PayPal. So you want to know if he'll talk to you after that? Oh, after you said it and apologize, and you're like, you know what? uh, you don't want to show that kind of stuff to people that you're interested in. So let's take a look here. Okay, yeah, I hear you. So I just read the rest of your thing here. You got 1 card, 2 card, and 3 card here. So let's see what we have here. Alrighty. Okay. You know, we've got the Ace of Cups on the bottom. Oh, and the Lover's card too. And the Four of Wands, the marriage card. And the Six of Cups. And the Moon. Okay, so you got all these cards coming in here about emotion and new love and the love of your life and the Six of Cups and the Moon. The reason I got excited about that is that this is past life connection, and the Moon card is the deep subconscious where we access our Akashic records. And so I feel like that with these other cards, I feel like they themselves are kind of bouncing back and forth with the Chariot, deciding whether they want to or not. It's back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And we have the Justice card too with the Prince of Wands. So they're balancing their thought and belief with the Justice card, but the Prince of Wands is their passion, is their fire wanting to be expressed. And so they're contemplating. It's like they're doing a cost benefit analysis. I feel like in some way, um, and this doesn't mean it's true. This is how they perceived it as someone that likes to control things, and they don't like to be controlled. And so they're kind of like, because they are a controller, right? That's the whole thing is like, well, people are like, um, you're intimidating. It's like, well, you're intimidated. I'm not intimidating. People will point at other people and then they're intimidating to other people. It's like, no, I get to be the intimidator, not you. That's what they're saying to you. And this is like, no, I'm the one that controls, not you. You're trying to control me. And it's like, oh, well, they're trying to control you to try to control them. There's that little paradigm that's going in there. And that's what I feel like they're doing, like this cost benefit analysis. Like, they're attracted to you with this Prince of Wands, but they're kind of going back and forth between, I don't know, is this how it's going to be? Is there a lot of rules? Are they going to try to cage me? It's one of their fears, right? And the reason why I'm like, I don't know if that's really, I feel like with this Six of Cups and the Moon is that you're going to have someone else that comes your way that you have this amazing past life connection with. I don't feel like it's this one. Because you've got three different guys here. You've got the Prince of Swords, who's someone who's very in their head. You have the Prince of Cups, who's very emotional, kind of like I feel like they could be a playa. Maybe this is them. Uh, but you have also Prince of Swords, that's someone who's very intellectual, but not, is like so intellectual that maybe they're not very emotional. And then the Prince of Cups is like a lot of emotion, um, you know, that comes in there. Um, and they're very earthy. Not pages, knights. They're more fire. Sorry. Pages all get extra earth. Knights get extra fire. So there's this passionate. So there's this Prince of Swords who's passionate, but they're in their head. There's another one who's passionate and they also want love. But then you have the King of Cups, who is my card that represents, it's the Queen of Swords and the King of Cups are the like compatible partner that is like yum, you know. And so there's these, it's like you got the Prince of Wands, the Prince of Swords, the Prince of Cups. You got all these individuals that are wanting intimacy, and there's these different types. But what binds all of them together, um, is this, this energy of they're just wanting intimacy. These other ones they're not so much capable of commitment because they've got this immature energy around them. The princes, because that's like a little prince, a little like King Jeffrey on not Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, right? He became a king at 15, 16 years old, and oh my God, no, but but then you have a King of Cups who is this, balancing here. Did I say yum? Yum. It's good. Because it's the compatible partner. It's someone who has a balance between their head and their heart. They can communicate. They also can keep it in their pants. They have balance. They have emotion. They have intelligence, but they're not so intelligent they don't know what an emotion is. They're not so emotional and like a little chihuahua humping people's legs. It's a wonderful, compatible individual. And that's who I feel comes down here. But that's that Six of Cups in that moon. It's someone who's, just so connected from the past life that you just meet him and you're like, wow, I feel like I'm just so comfortable around you. And it's just so smooth and yummy. Yeah. Yeah. Earlier in my life, there was someone that used the term yummy man. They're like, where's my yummy man? And that's like what's coming in. They're the full package, right? Yeah. But I don't feel like this is the one. I feel like, again, there's this, there's like these three princes who are, that you're interacting with they have this immature energy around them, right? And then, but there's this other one that the king comes in, which is mature and and balanced, and you're just like, where have you been? Right. So that's what's coming in for that. Hopefully that helps. And thank you for your additional donation, Shay Shay. All right. No, I feel like this is one of the princes. There's the immature energy around him, right? Not they might be the Prince of Cups, but they get, there's emotion, but there's fire, and their fire's immature is what's coming in there. So yeah, that's not them. The person that you meet has a past life connection. There's past life where it's just you won't have to wonder. You're gonna be like, yep, that's them. I usually say, like, there's a rainbow shooting out of their butt and they're glowing in the dark. I wonder if that's them. It's like, you're gonna know that's them. Absolutely. Much love to you. All right. So, Johanna, you are up next. Thank you so much for your donation. Give that a love and a like. Good to see you. Greetings, monsieur. So you want to know, let's see, we wanted to change your question. Jay's feelings, not S's. All right, so what are Jay's feelings towards you? All right, let's take a look here. Good to see you. All right. So what are Jay's feelings towards you? All right. Of course, when we look at other people's feelings towards us, it tells us a lot about their feelings toward themselves, right? Because we don't see the world as it is. We see the world as we are. So we always throw that out there. We do have the Four of Cups here. We've got emotional stability here. That's coming in. And, there is this, I don't know, it just feels there. We'll see what these other cards are. Emotional stability can be good, but it also can be stagnant and kind of just, not maybe too balanced in a way. But we've got their, the King of Wands that we got coming in here, which is like there's passion, but there's bridled passion, which means that they can control it. They're not like what I was just talking about, the Chihuahua that goes and humps everyone's legs, can't control their passion. Like, I don't know, like there's these two Australians that have a podcast. They're hilarious. They'll show things, and it's like, the they showed this lady that was like, so, this horrible thing happened, and you know, um, we have a baby girl together, and one day he had a terrible accident, and um, he he fell. So they said something about like he fell, and but he fell into the private, they said a different word, I can't say it on YouTube, but he's like he fell into the private parts of his coworker, and he's still there. Which means that he cheated on her, and but so that's like that thing, and that's what I think of when I have like the Knight of Wands. It's like, oh, oops, I'm sorry, I couldn't control myself. I tripped and fell into bed with someone. You're like, really? But the King of Wands isn't. They're mature, and they're, like they can control those. They're not out of control with their passions. Yeah. And it feels here that they're pretty content. I mean, they can be content with the Magician, which expressing their passions, but they're also content being alone with the Nine of Pentacles. So they can kind of go back and forth in between being extroverted and introverted, sharing their passions or being alone. They're like I used to call it a sex camel. They can go into the desert for a long period of time, and then they come out to drink, and then they go back into their cave, back into the desert. That's funny. Yeah, the Six of Swords. Excuse me. The Six of Swords is about, moving from older ways of thinking to new ways of thinking. So there could be, they got a lot of thoughts, a lot of thinking that they do. And this makes sense with if they really like this hermity, they are someone who does a lot of self-reflection. So that's why they like their hermit mode, because they journal and they think, and they do art, and they do different things to um process and understand. So they've got a lot of self-awareness, which I like about them, which makes sense why they understand what passion is, in that kind of thing coming in there. So, you know, with that. Oh, okay. And they have the moon and the tower card. So this thing that flows below the surface, the fear that they don't do well with, that they're still kind of working through, is the fear of someone suddenly leading their life. I feel like with this moon card, they got a lot of deep emotion that goes further back, but I feel like it goes back to childhood, where there was either a parent or someone that they lost when they were young, someone significant, that got removed out of their life, either by death or divorce, or someone moving away, or something that really um, was the spark of fear in their life, that when you start caring about someone or something, it gets taken away. And then they had that echo a few times in their life too, with people or friends. And so they're kind of um, cautious in investing very fast and very quickly. This is something that they're working through right now. So I just feel like, their feelings, um, like they're there because that moon card is a lot of emotion below the surface, but there's also this hesitancy. So they got passion there, but they don't overtly share it a whole lot. They got emotion, they don't share it a whole lot, but um but it exists in their world, I just don't feel like it gets a whole lot out into the outer world, if that makes sense. Like you're like you can sense it, but you're like, but they don't show it a whole lot. But you're like, I know it's there, but they're like, they're just careful um, about being vulnerable too quick, if that makes sense. So that's what's coming in right now. And timing of expressing or whatever, I think it's just time is what it takes with them because they're looking for solidity and they're looking for reassurance that someone's not moving away, leaving, going somewhere else, um, going to prefer someone else over them. So they're content with themselves and they're kind of like, why screw that up with their relationship in a way? Unless it's like they do this cost benefit analysis, right? Unless it's, I know, then it's worth it. But otherwise, why invest if it's just going to go away? So, you know, it's kind of like this feeling like um, everyone moves away all the time, you know. So it's like, why get uh, super connected with people? Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that makes sense with all that too. But oh, and that makes total sense why they're bridled and why they have this emotion, but they don't act on it too. So that makes total sense. That's good. At least they're excuse me, faithful. But there is attraction. There is emotion there. But I like that they're honorable. Well, there you go. All right. You're like, huh? That makes them kind of attractive. And it's like, but you're like, but I'm not going to be a home wrecker because then that just kind of, if I can ruin their home, which I know you won't, but if I can ruin their home, then someone can ruin mine. So why do that, right? All right. So that's what they have for you, Johanna. So thank you again for your donation. Many blessings to you. Yeah, no home record. All right. And then Supernova, thank you for your additional donation here. And we got the Salt Shaker. Let's see here. All right, what's out there? Do you have another question? Let me see here. Okay, so we were saying there. So Nova, I see your donation, but I don't see another question. So let me grab that here. I don't think so. Let me scroll up here because that was number 6, stand ready and playing. Yeah, I don't see one here. So if you're still here and you haven't fallen asleep, because I know it's late there, um, make sure to put your question here. I'm going to be leaving here in just a moment. Oh, okay, no problem. Just for the sake of time here. So Brenda, thank you for your donation. And you wanted love with guys today. All right, let's take a look. See what Spirit wants you to know here. And I might get yours on the return here, Nova, since I'm going to be headed off here momentarily. Let's see what we got here. What do we have happening? What is all this about? All right. All right. So, Brenda, you do have the 2 of Cups on the bottom of the deck here, which is all about important relationships. And so I feel like relationships, there's a lot of energy around that today. There's a couple things. The first one is like around marriage and partnership with this 4 of Wands. There is this important message from Spirit about looking at your fears and supposed tos and shoulds around what marriage and commitment is supposed to mean. because that is a source of unjoy in your life, and it's what narrows things down, and that's what kind of draws energy out of that. They're just saying that based on current energies, if you keep those same mindsets around what a marriage and commitment relationship is supposed to be, it pushes relationship like a committed one of the kind that you really that your heart wants way down the road, because this it's like people keep failing it, they keep failing it, they keep failing it, they keep failing it. And so there's this important message that comes in with looking at that and freeing yourself from that too, because some of those things are on you about who you're supposed to be, how you're supposed to be, blah 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 blah. So you have these kind of a cage around your heart, and there's a cage that is open that we put the other person or try to put the other person in. But it feels like a lot of what you end up with are these cats. You know how you try to put a cat in a cat carrier, it's all four paws on either side of the, no, you're not putting me in there. A lot of resistance that comes in with that, there. So I feel like it's an important thing to go, if I keep having the same expectations, I'm going to keep drawing in the same individual in, and it's like you want something different with that, right? So I feel like there's a time period here of not being in a relationship, not dating, and looking at that because it's important to change that energy. Otherwise, we're going to keep drawing, the same thing. It's like till you change your they're showing like Amazon where you're on a subscription. Until you cancel that subscription, you're going to keep getting the same thing shipped to you, right? And then you also have the Prince of Swords and the Three of Cups. Now, the Prince of Swords, and with this is about community, this is about friendships. And I feel like there's this change that's coming in here, new communication with what is like your besties, your best friends. And if you don't have like two that are like sisters to you, like non-blood sisters that you're going to be friends with forever, and it's like three of you that make sure that each of you is doing like um your keeping each other called on your behaviors that you're wanting to change, right? It's these that are they do it out of love, and you do it all to each other. But I feel like there's two others where you're like three peas in a pod. This is the changing of this. Like there's new communication, new thinking around that. Like maybe you don't trust, or you just haven't found individuals, but I feel like there's this change where this is an important step as you're looking at those things, casting those things away, not dating, not, focusing on that, but finding a couple of two close friends that you just really click together. You help each other on your journey. You help each other from falling into old patterns. And it's an important process in the step of your journey for love. And it's like you have these friends that you'll always be with you forever. You guys all care about each other like your blood, but you're not. I don't feel like you're blood related. And it's like you're the solid this trio, and that helps you feel this unconditional love that helps you as you're releasing these old ways of thinking, if that makes sense. So that's what they want you to know right now, Brenda. I know, right? But it's so important. It changes the individuals that you draw in because we're tired of those old, those other people, right? All right. Well, that's what they have for you, my dear. So hang in there. All right. I did not get to any free readings. And so, Nova, I'll grab your question here too. And you'll be up first when I return. And we'll dive deeper into those, of course, too. But I'm going to take screenshots real quick. For everyone else, I'm going to spend about an hour with my praying Mantis members. And then I'm going to eat. some breakfast because I haven't eaten yet, and then I will return and complete all the free readings. Then I also will return this evening. Whoops, grab the entire thing. Didn't want to do that. There we go. So I will be back at 6 p.m. Mountain Time too, in about about 5 hours from now as well. So you accidentally deleted your last question. Let's see. So your question, let's see. So you said, from your life, they are bullies, and you'd rather be doing your own thing and choose to hang out with yourself, living freely, I think. So I don't. So what is the question, Nova? I'll make sure to put that in there too. And I'll grab that real quick as I prepare to head off here. So I don't. Because I saw you comment on that. I don't see a question though, Nova. I see you said from my life they are bullies, and I'd rather be doing my own thing and choose to hang out with myself, living freely. You just want to know what spirit wants you to know about that? Is that what that is? Or and then history and unrevealed. I will grab yours too here in a sec too. About family. I don't think it came through. Maybe there's a word in there that got blocked because I don't see a question. So if there's a cuss word or something in there, don't try retyping it and don't put that. I'm just kidding. History unrevealed. I'm actually headed out. I'll be back in about an hour and a half, and to complete all the free readings. Yours will be, since you're last here. I'm capturing you just as I'm leaving out the door here, so you'll be the last one when I come back in about an hour and a half or so. So. That's how it works. Oh yeah, there it is. So what do spirit guides want you to say about your family and leaving behind? Okay, so now I see that there. All right, Nova, I got it. So all right, everybody. In the meantime, if you guys have any, if you want to, while you're waiting, I have a ton of free content on my main page. I got solstice relationship readings. I've got pick a card readings and all sorts of stuff. So if you want to check those out, in the meantime, I shall return. And in the meantime, remember every second of every day of your life that you truly are eternally and unconditionally loved by the Mother and the Father of all things, our Creator. And of course, I love you too. So until I see you guys again, enjoy the rest of your day or night, and much love to you. You guys hang in there. We'll see you soon. All right.